Hi guys, how you all are doing right now? Since it's my first video for 2025, let me first greet you all a Happy New Year. It's a bit late, maybe, but as they say, better late than never. Let me first start by thanking Don Williams, aka D-Dubs, and the mods of my Discord server who have been helpful in keeping up the server for a very long time while I was gone. And of course to the community who reported issues, sending a merge request on my GitHub. Thank you all very much. Lastly, a big shout out to our genius developer of Hyprland, aka Lord Baxry, as he added my dots into his wiki, or the Hyprland Wiki. Moving on, my last video about my dots was 2.2.11. So as always, I would like to go to the changes since 2.2.11. I will not go through all as I did before. I'll just go through the significant changes, and mostly up to now it's always tweaking as I see changes or somebody reported an issues, or even file a bug report, or even send me a message there's something wrong with my dots, and that's what I've been doing so far. I will not mention any tweaks here or updates of the configs due to Hyprland update, etc. First thing, as always, I always make a changelog on my dots. So if you go to my GitHub page and you go to the Hyprland dots, for example, let me just here, you can go to the wiki and then the changelogs here. By the way, there's a link on all my distro Hyprland install script. Let's say this Arch Hyprland. You can see in here there's a wiki shortcut to it. Same goes to, let's say, NixOS or Fedora. The wiki link is always here at the first page, at the very first page. See here, this is the KooL's, my Hyprland Dots related links. There's the repo, my YouTube channel, wiki, and the keybinds, frequently asked questions, and of course joining my Discord server. So then we go with the changelogs. Since the last video was about 2.2.11, so I will just start with 2.2.12. Just scroll down. So 2.2.12. So there's not so much in here. As I said, I will not go through with all the changes here. What I would just want to mention is introduction of the waybar modules. Sorry, the waybar group modules. Waybar group is here, introducing the waybar group modules. So once you're on my dots, let me just go back to the default, for example. So if you scroll here, see these are the group modules, and also here. So then it will be a look cleaner. So if you go here at the top left, if you just hover your mouse or your cursor, then it will unhide the group modules here. For example, here, see, that's the introduction. And then same here, of course, I made a shortcut here. For example, this is the file manager, which is tuner, and then here is the kitty. If you just click it, Firefox here, if you have the browser, and then the settings, which is this super E, same thing here. Okay, as for 2.2.12, 2.2.13, these are the added wallpaper effects. So super shift W, then you will see here, let me just move to a different. So let's say here I want a no effect So that was the original wallpaper. Let's say black and white. There you go. So it changes. Hopefully also the color changes, but then sometimes I've been having an issues with it's not getting the, see, there's sometimes like an changes to the effect in my laptop CPU now is increasing. So that's the wallpaper effects. Let's say the charcoal, for example. There you go. So let me just go. So if you select, for example, another wallpaper, say here, initially it will loaded the no effects, and then press Super Shift W. Then let's say oil paint. There you go. So much changes. Sepia tone. This is the yellowish. Yep. And there you have it. So this is for the highlights of the 2.2.13, and of course this is inspired from ML4W, or my Linux for work, and later on the Wallpaper Effects contributed. Thank you to S4N Kalp. He added some of the wallpaper effects. So let's go up to 2.2.14. It's not so much here. 2.2.3. Again, this is because of the changes due to the Hyprland update, so I wouldn't go much here. We just go up to the by the way, in case you don't know, I have this Rofi Beats. These are the Super Shift W, Super Shift M. Then you can play from your music folder or by the online stations here, in case you don't know. And of course, thank you for those who are contributing or donating monetary. They are sponsoring, they are giving some small amount to me. Thank you very much for this, guys. And I always mention on the ChangeLogs. So let's go to 2.2.3, 2.2.34, 2.3.4. This is the Rofi menu. This is now the new Rofi menu, new layout, and this is of course same, affects the all these shortcuts of the Rofi. So here, and then enhance Rofi emoji now with extra Rofi emoji. So super Alt E. Then you can, like, say search joy here. So if let's say you want this one and then you want to add it to this there, we just click and then Control V, then it will paste. This is very useful for the when you're chatting or something. So then going back to the changes, so there's not so much after that. And then let's go to the 2.3.7. 2.2.3.7, this I decided now that since because my distro Hyprland install script before, they're pulling from my releases page on my GitHub. Let's just go back to my Hyprland dots. It's always pulling from the releases before. See, it's been a long time since I didn't do release. I decided to change over to download it directly from my main page. That's because it's just easier to maintain, plus it's easier to apply a bug fixes right away. So that's the one. And then for 2.3.7, 2.3.7, there are some waybar overhaul, minor tweaks in the workspaces. Yeah, this is the app drawer. This is what I mean. I'm showing here. So if you hover it, see, you can see here it's giving the tooltip. So another addition to this one is the searchable keyboard or searchable keybinds. For example, if you press, by default is Super Shift K, then you're looking for something on the keybind. Let's say screenshot. Just type screenshot here, then you will choose which one it is. But mind you that, for example, here it's written note clicking or with mouse or pressing enter will have no function at all. So this is only like a reference. So for a screenshot, let's say this one, super control print screen, that will be in 10 seconds screenshot. So super control shift prints. What is my print screen now? Button. Hold on. Super shift print screen. Yeah, so see there, 10 seconds. Then it will make a screenshot which will be added to the, let's say go to the wallpapers screenshot, then you have here the latest screenshot here. Something is wrong here. January 18. Oh no, so January 8. Yeah, it's correct. I have now a 2 screen, that's why. So okay, and then of course a toggle split, Super Shift I. This is only for dwindle layout. So let's say I want it here. So let's say you want to change this to horizontal, so it will be Super Shift I. See, now it changes. You just need to highlight first, Super Shift I, or you can actually press super and then arrow, Super Shift I. So see here, it's changing. This is only applicable to dwindle layout. If you change it to, let's say, master layout, that will have no effect. And then of course added a new waybar design, a colorful oglo chiclet. So super control B. So this is the chiclets here. This is the new waybar layout which added, and I believe there's one more waybar layout here which, or design, was added. Let me just find that one. Was it here? Here, added RGB bordered wayable style. So super control B and then RGB. See here, rainbow. These are with the rainbow borders, so it will match actually with the rainbow borders which I added. This is something. And then of course, on one of the highlights for version 2.3.7 is the additional functionality for the copying. So let's say when you run the install for, let's say go back here with the installation and copy. When you run this copy.sh, it will offer you a, let me just run something here. Real quick. So these are the changes now, as you can see. Let me just change the background a little bit darker. So just full screen. So monitor screen, of course, this is for monitor resolution of 1440p or less, or 1440p and higher. And then if you want to change, this was introduced few versions or few months ago. I always want a 24-hour. And then if you want the rainbow borders animation, I want the rainbow borders animation, so I would say no here, I don't want. And then these are the changes so far. So if you want to copy, or if it's a text that you already have an AGS folder and you want to replace it, for now just say no. And then same again with the fast fetch. So just go quickly here with the changes, and then see here, if it found out, this is when you are upgrading. If you have already my previous dots before, it checks that you have some files from your user config. So if you have it file on the, let's say, user configs and user scripts, if you have added here your configuration or your scripts, then it will ask you to restore it. So I don't want now. Same with this. By the way, if it's big letter like this, if you just press enter, that is like a default action. So I don't want any backup. So same thing if I had the user scripts before, which I believe, since I didn't add, okay, I don't want now. And then one thing here also is if it detects that you have a lot of the backup, for example here on the .config, see here there's like 2 backup, so it will ask you if you want to delete or not. So I want to delete, so I would say yes, all this other backup. So there you go. Then it will tell you, of course, you log out and log in, or better reboot to avoid any issues at all. So okay, that's the 2.3.7. and then for 2.3.8, which is now on here, there is not so much changes here. Again, this one probably the most important is the added the hypercursor version of the Bada Ice cursor. And if you go to, for example, let's say to Debian, I have also added Debian. If you go to the assets, Debian, they still know. The problem with Debian is, and Ubuntu is Hyprland hypercursor on the, if I remember correct, it starts at 0.45 or 43. So they will not be supported. So let's say with the Fedora Hyprland, go to the assets. No, my mistake. It's actually on a different repo, in which if I go here to, let's say, to Debian Hyprland, GTK is included in the GTK theme. If you opted for GTK theme, see here, this is not, it's now added on the this Bada Ice cursor. So it will, if it unpacks on the dot icons here, it added now the hypercursor, and then if it detects that it's there, it will automatically enable the hypercursor. Yeah, here by default is disabled, but if it detects that there is a hypercursor folder on the dot icons, then it will automatically delete this by the hypercursor. I think I didn't have that yet, that's why I didn't. Oh, it did. I don't know why it didn't, which is very weird. This dots that I have it here was still old. So anyway, I will just fix that later on. So anyway, That's all the changes that I wanted to test so far. One thing here also, but just bear recently, if it's installing on the VM, do not enable the env, leave GL always software one, because Hyprland is crashing. I found out that there was because of the changes on the Aquamarine recently. Okay, this is just about it. This is just what I want to do, a quick video about my Hyprland Dots. I'm gonna revisit some of my videos before, like the Arch installation, dual booting, and that's the one that I will gonna start mentioning on making videos about that. Anyway, take good care guys, and you have all a good day. Bye bye.